players farther. By Nissan and your Nissan dealers. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. It's in the MLB. Is it in you? And by Southern California Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can take it by the horns. Dodge. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Wednesday afternoon to you, whoever you may be. The Dodgers and Rockies concluding their three-game series here at Coors Field. And with Nomar Garciaparra and the others in the Dodger lineup trying to make it 4 out of 6 on the road trip and go home above 500, where they will then play the Angels and welcome Colorado to Dodger Stadium. Brad Penny has concluded his warm-ups. Penny with a record of 3-1. He was 2-1 against the Colorado Rockies last year, and his career he is 5-2. So the Dodgers and the Rockies concluding matters here, and here's the way the Dodgers stack up. Rafael Furcal at shortstop, Jose Cruz in center field, Nomar Garciaparra will be at first base. J.D. Drew in right field, Willie Ibar plays third, Andre Ethier in left field, Ramon Martinez will play second base, Russell Martin behind the plate, and Brad Penny on the mound. For the Dodgers, minus Kenny Lofton and Jeff Kent. The word is that Kent will not appear in any way, pinch hit, whatever. Lofton could pinch hit, but he can't run very well with that tight hamstring. So the Dodgers figure, okay, we rest them today. Tomorrow is an off day, and they have until Friday night to get ready for the Angels. Meanwhile, on the mound for the Colorado Rockies is right-hander Jason Jennings. Jennings is certainly big enough. He is 6'2", 245 pounds. He'll be 28 in July. He was the #1 pick by the Rockies out of Baylor University. And throughout his time in Dallas and Rockwell, Texas, he was the town's best baseball player. He was one of the best football and basketball players. I mean, he's a great all-around athlete. And spearheading a Rockies team that is rejuvenated, the Rockies have come from behind in 7 of their 10 victories at home. They're 10-9 at home, but they've also won 6 of their last 9 for Clint Hurdle. And Hurdle made that remark at the opening. He's got some fine kids, especially in the outfield, where you have Brad Hawpe, Corey Sullivan, and Matt Holliday, a trio, some of the better young outfielders in the National League. And Hawpe is really wearing out the Dodgers and doing a great job. Clint, meanwhile, as he does in the dugout, bouncing a baseball on the floor up and down. Usually it's a sign of distress, but the Rockies are actually upbeat. They're only a half a game back of Arizona. The Dodgers 2.5 games back. So now on to the ball game. Rafael Furcal, Jose Cruz, and then Nomar Garciaparra. Jennings looks down the barrel to get a sign. Right-hander turns and deals, and the first pitch in for a strike. Furcal 4 for 8 with a home run in the past against Jennings. The Rafael hitting .234. Had an 8-game hitting streak snapped last night when he went 0 for 4. Hits one foul outside of first and down the line, and the count 0-2. Beautiful weather here in Denver. It is 76 degrees at the start of the game. The prevailing wind throughout the series has come out of the east, southeast maybe, and brought a lot of warmth with it. Ground ball squirted by the mound. Tough chance at shortstop, but made by Jamie Carroll. So Furcal is out on a good play by the shortstop. 1 away. We'll take a look at the Rockies defensively. The incumbent Todd Helton at first with his 3 Gold Gloves. Then you have Jason Smith, Jamie Carroll, and Garrett Atkins, with Holliday, Sullivan, and Hawpe in the outfield. Miguel Ojeda behind the plate, and Jason Jennings on the mound. So Jose Cruz checking in now against Jennings. He's had a lot of trouble in the past. 2 for 13. And Cruz struggling left-handed and takes a strike. 0-1. Jose batting .243, but from this side of the plate it's really been a struggle. He's hitting only .183. Jennings ready and deals, and the pitch is popped up on the right side. Helton going down the line. battling it in foul ground and giving way to Jason Smith, the second baseman. So Heldon at the last moment peeled off, and Jason Smith there to make the catch. And we have 2 down here in the first inning, and the batter will be Nomar Garciaparra. Garciaparra walked and then went 0 for 3 last night, so his 10-game hitting streak is history. Nevertheless, he's hitting .368 on the road trip and .341 for the season. So Nomar checking in and doing an absolutely phenomenal job with the glove. A pop fly into shallow right. Jason Smith goes out and gathers it in. So the Dodgers are done quickly in the first inning on 6 pitches. And at the end of half an inning, no score. Dodgers failed to score in the first inning, and the Rockies getting ready to come up against Brad Penny, and they'll stack up with Corey Sullivan in center, Garrett Atkins at third, Todd Helton at first, and Matt Holliday in left. Brad Hawpe will be in right field, Jason Smith at second, Miguel Ojeda behind the plate, Jamie Carroll at shortstop, and Jason Jennings on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Brad Penny with a record of 3-1. He was 2-1 against the Rockies last year, and he is 5-2 lifetime. Remember the last game that Brad pitched in San Francisco, he went a strong 5, but his back stiffened up and he had to come out. Because of that, and with the day off, he'll actually have 6 days before he starts again. So Brad ready now, and the first pitch to Corey Sullivan is in for a strike. The left-hand hitting center fielder who has done a number on the Dodgers in his career. He's hitting .397 against Los Angeles. Penny into the windup. Brad comes back, and it's a little nubber out in front of the home plate. Picked up there and thrown out by Russell Martin. So Sullivan is out, 1 away, and the batter will be Garrett Atkins. We'll take a look at the Dodgers with the leather, and they stack up Garciaparra and Martinez for Call and Ibar, Ethier, Cruz, and Drew, and the battery of Penny and Martin. And now Garrett Atkins checking in, hitting in the number 2 slot, the 3-time All-American from UCLA, hitting .308. So Garrett slightly open stance, and Brad Penny deals in the first one over for a strike, and the count 0-1. When the Dodgers come home tomorrow, an off day, and they'll start Friday night with the Angels, we can give you the pitching alignment. Strike 1 pitch is low and inside, 1-1. Aaron Seeley will go up against Jeff Weaver. That will be Friday night. Brett Tomko and Kevin Gregg Saturday afternoon. Derek Lowe and Irvin Santana Sunday afternoon. The next pitch is hit foul down the right field line, out of play, and the count 1-2 strikes. Then after Derek Lowe Monday night against the Rockies, it'll be Jay So, followed by Brad Penny. So Garrett Atkins waiting at the plate, moving up from cleanup to the number 2 slot. Penny, both feet on the rubber, looks down to get a sign. Atkins, right-hand hitter. And the pitch to Garrett is taken in at the knuckles, and the count 2-2. Atkins for the last 2 weeks has been hitting about .212, so his average has gone from .363 to .308, and he's 1 for 8 in this series. So he's struggling a little bit. They all do. And the 2-2 pitch on the way is fouled off. Atkins earlier this year had a 7-game hitting streak. You know, one of the things we've commented about, because it seemed to be such a shocking assessment, and that was Clint Hurdle's remark about Coors Field is becoming a pitcher's ballpark. A high slider that dips in for strike 3, and down goes Atkins. Well, first of all, let's give you a few numbers. If you combine the runs scored here in 2003, it was almost 12 runs a game. In 2004, close to 13 runs a game. Tailed down last year to 11, and this year it's all the way down to 9, and the pitch to Heldon hits him under the numbers, and he goes to first base. So Todd Helton hit by a pitch, and the batter will be Matt Holliday. which of course is not a good idea anyway. Helton has only been hit twice this year, and Matt Holliday is putting up some big numbers. Holliday, for the 4th time in his career, had 4 hits last night. He's batting .314, and he has 11 home runs, along with 36 runs batted in. So Holliday in the top 10, trailing Albert Pujols, and he's moved up behind Pujols in RBIs, takes a strike. He would be 4th in the league in RBIs. He is right back of Albert Pujols in total bases, and he's right back with 50 base hits this year. So Helton hit by a pitch, and Penny now has to face a tough hombre. Brad out of a stretch, right-handed deals, fastball a strike. Well, just to finish up on Clint Hurdle and the pitcher's ballpark, there have been a total of 19 wins in this ballpark. Of those 19, 10 won by the Rockies. 12 of those 19, the winning team has scored 5 runs or less. Strike 2 pitch is hitting to right center, and that's going to hit the grass and go to the track. Over to third is Helton, and they'll stop him on a long double by Matt Holliday. Boy, he is something. Another reason why the runs are down, and that's a perfect example. They have allowed the grass to grow here. Normally that ball would have gone all the way to the wall, but Cruz was able to cut it off, and that meant Helton could only go to third. And again, with the winning team scoring 5 runs or less, look at the scores in this series. Dodgers won 5-4. Rockies won last night 5-1. So with runners at second and third, here comes trouble. Brad Hawpe. And as tough as Corey Sullivan has been, Hawpe is even better against the Dodgers, hitting .408 in his career. Penny ready and delivers, and Hawpe tied up on the pitch and takes a strike. Hawpe didn't believe that was a called strike, but Ted Barrett says yes, and Brad backs out. Hawpe last night singled in one, hit a 3-run home run, and threw out Kenny Lofton at the plate. Brad Hawpe is hitting .340. That makes him 3rd in the National League. The strike 1 pitch of the left-hand batter is taken a little low, and the count 1-1. And in looking at Hawpe going against Penny, we find out that he is 2 for 6, batting .333. Hawpe has homered in 2 straight games in the series. Penny checking second and third, and the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. That fastball was clocked 95 on the gun here at Coors Field. And Brad Hawpe, who has been able to dig the ball out of the dirt. He hit a home run inches off the ground into the right center field bullpen against Tomko. It made Brett exclaim, wow. Well, last night he hit a slider down and away into the left center field seats, 422 feet away. He can be trouble indeed. The 1-2 pitch to Brad Hawpe, swung on and missed, and down he goes. So Penny, a power pitcher, puts it on display, strikes out 2. The Rockies leave runners at second and third, and at the end of an inning, no score. No score at the end of an inning. The Dodgers went in order, and the Rockies left runners at second and third. So for the Dodgers now in the second inning, J.D. Drew, followed by Willie Ibar, and then Andre Ethier. So J.D. Drew, who has put up some good numbers, hitting .250 on the trip with 4 runs batted in. And Drew against Jennings is 3 for 9 in the past. So J.D. hitting .289, checks in, 7 home runs, 30 RBIs. And Jennings turns on the rubber, and the big guy delivers, and the first one is outside, ball 1. Jennings looks down the barrel, getting a sign. J.D. waiting, and the pitch to him is outside. You look at the outfield. Holliday is up a few steps in left. Sullivan is deep shading left center, and Hawpe very much off the line in right field. But the infield is playing him around at first, And J.D. is way out in front of an off-speed pitch, a good changeup, and they count 2-1. You have a tendency, at least I do, of thinking of Jennings as being a kid. But you know, this is his 133rd career start. The 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed, and they count 2-2. He came up to the Rockies 5 years ago. Jason said growing up, he was perfectly built to be a catcher. He was either short and wide or tall and broad. And he's right up there in wins for Colorado, 2 behind Pedro Estacio, and he goes 3-2 to J.D. Drew. Interesting that Jason Jennings' grandfather was an FBI agent. Actually, he was a senior agent in Dallas. As Drew hits one to the hole and goes the other way. So a nice bit of hitting by J.D. Drew. They were playing him basically that way. The outfield was, and with a pitch away, he just stroked it through the hole on the left side. So Drew a base hit, and the batter will be Willie Ibar. A diving try, but no chance for Jamie Carroll to come up with it. Ibar hasn't had many at-bats, but he certainly made the most of them, hitting .455, and in limited time 2 for 3 in this series. So his career batting average in the major leagues is .340. And Jennings out of his stretch and deals. Ground ball into right field. Drew will stop at second as Brad Hawpe gets it back in. So Jennings in trouble, giving up back-to-back singles. Dodgers at first and second, nobody out. And now Ethier, Martinez, and Martin coming up. And Miguel Ojeda out to talk to Jennings. No score, second inning, 2 on, nobody out. Jason on the grass behind the mound, now slowly getting back up on top. So Drew went the other way. Ibar pulls, and the Dodgers have first and second for Ethier. Andre batting .250. Jennings a look back at second. Jason delivers and misses low and away. Ball 1, 1-0. Jennings so far this year has an ERA of 5, but of course you think about that 5 and you think about Coors Field. His strikeout to walk ratio is almost, not quite, 2-1. But he has allowed more hits than innings pitched, so he's been in some trouble. He's allowed 60 hits, and in 52 2/3 innings. So Jennings has been pitching out of the stretch a lot, and he's behind now to Ethier, 2 balls and no strikes. So Andre playing in left field. Out of a stretch goes Jennings, set at the belt, looks back at Drew, now works the plate, and that one's in for a strike, and the count 2-1. Last night when Lofton came out with the hamstring, Ethier came in and batted and struck out and then grounded out. So Kenny trying to keep the dugout alive. He's always full of beans before a game and now during a game as Ethier takes outside. So Jennings falls behind, 3 balls and 1 strike. Jennings pitched a shutout here, the second career shutout. That was Colorado's 5-0 victory here against Houston. Right-hander behind, 3-1 to Andre Ethier. Now Jennings said, here he comes, and it's hit in the air to left field. Holiday playing near the line makes the catch, and the runners have to hold. So 1 out, 2 on, and the batter will be Ramon Martinez. Ramon Martinez has not started very many ball games, but the Dodgers are 4-1 in the games in which he starts. He had a base hit last night, though his average at .303. 6 years ago when Ramon was playing for the Giants, he hit .302. So Martinez checks in, 2 on, 1 out. Jennings delivers, big breaking ball in for a strike, and the count 0-1. So in the inning, Drew grounded a single to left. Ibar grounded a single to right. Ethier a fly ball to left. And here is Martinez with Russell Martin hitting back of him. 0-1 the count. Jennings looks in, reading Ojeda. Now set at the belt, checks the runners. Here he comes, and it's foul back, and the count 0-2. We mentioned earlier about his grandfather being a special agent in Dallas. His grandfather was on the street when President John F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1963. He's a chip off the old block. His dad, Jim, played in the Rangers organization for about 3 years. So Jason ready, and the strike 2 pitch inside, moving Martinez off the plate, and the count 1-2. Dodgers heading home tomorrow, an off day, and they'll open up with the Angels Friday night. Aaron Seeley and Jeff Weaver. Seeley wore an Angel uniform, as you know. Weaver wore a Dodger uniform, and now they'll go head-to-head Friday night. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming up. Jennings checking, very deliberate, now with a fastball low and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. So Martinez, a veteran, called on to play second base today. Dodgers having to move the infield around. Jeff Kent out with the stiff back, and Lofton out with the hamstring pull. So you have Martinez playing second and Ibar playing third. The 2-2 pitch to Ramon Martinez. Jennings delivers, and it's beaten foul, bouncing back up into the stands, and the count stays 2-2. Jennings is a very bright young man. When he was at Baylor University, he was first team academic All-American. He majored in sociology. At Baylor, he had the nickname Diesel, not so much because he's a big man, but because he ate up so many innings. Here's the 2-2 pitch coming up to Martinez. Swung on, grounded foul outside of third and down the line. Though Jennings still hung on a 2-2 count. Jennings, who might remind you a little bit through the legs of a Rick Russell. Sometimes maybe a little bit like a Roger Clemens. An interesting thing about Jason, he eats and writes left-handed, but he throws right-handed. So they said, well, did you ever throw left-handed? Said, nope, never tried. 2-2 the count to Ramon Martinez. Jennings out of his stretch. A look at the runners, and here he comes, and Martinez slices one going down the right field line, foul, and back in amongst the customers. They're averaging almost, not quite, 25,000 a game here. They had 20,000 the first night. They had 23,192 last night, and they're somewhere in that area again today. It is a gorgeous day here in Denver. So Jennings standing out in the sunlight, looks down to get a sign. Runners take their leads. No score, second inning. Jennings said, here he comes, and Martinez slicing one down the right field line in the corner, going foul. In pursuit, Brad Hawpe, and the ball caught the stands, jutting out towards the foul line. So back comes Martinez. Another huddle. Miguel Ojeda talking to Jason Jennings. J.D. Drew at second. Willie Ibar at first. 1 out, no score. The Rockies had second and third with 2 out in the first inning, and Brad Penny struck out Brad Hawpe. 20 pitches so far in the inning, a total up on the board of 26 for the game. He had 6 in the first inning, and the 8th pitch to Martinez is fouled away. So Martinez, a tough at bat, making Jennings work. So it'll be a 9-pitch at bat at least, as Ramon fusses with his gloves before getting back in. Martinez very valuable, making his second start at second. He started 2 at third and 2 at short. And the next one, a breaking ball, strike 3 call. So Ramon had to be guessing something else, and he got a little slider, and it just dropped in there, and down he goes. So a big out as Martinez is caught looking. 2 down. Runners at first and second, and the batter will be Russell Martin. Russell Martin, in the games in which he has started, the previous 10, the Dodgers are 8-2. So the right-hand hitting catcher, Jennings, ready over the top and drops it on a half swing, no swing, says Troy Fullwood, the first base umpire, and a 1-ball, no strike count to Russell Martin, hitting .267, .231 on the road trip. Martin, right-hand hitter, 2 on 2 out, no score. Jennings comes back, and there's a ground ball to short. Jamie Carroll over to Jason Smith, and Jennings is out of the jam. So for the Dodgers in the second inning, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. And at the end of an inning and a half, no score. We go to the bottom of the second inning here at Coors Field. No score in the ball game, each side leaving 2. And in the bottom of the second, it'll be Jason Smith, followed by Miguel Ojeda, and then Jamie Carroll. So Brad Penny, who got in a little trouble with 2 out, he hit Todd Helton and gave up a double to Matt Holliday, but then he struck out Brad Hoff on some awfully fast fastballs. So we go to the second. Jason Smith, left-hand hitter, coming up. Jason has been around a while. He's from Meridian, Mississippi. Came up to the Cubs 5 years ago, then over to the Devil Rays for a couple of years, then a year and a half or thereabouts with Detroit, and now surfacing from Toledo to Colorado. And Brad Penny deals. Jason takes high, ball 1. Smith hitting .273. He had a big series against the San Diego Padres. He's cooled up a little bit and hitting .273 and waiting. The 1-0 pitch in at the knuckles, ball 2, and the count 2-0. Started hitting the skids a little bit, going 0 for 4 against St. Louis. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Jason takes outside, ball 3. He had a 2-home run game way back in April at San Diego, and 2 years ago he had a 2-home run game against Minnesota. 3-0 pitch, and that's in for a strike, and the count 3-1. So Jason Smith holding down second base. Jamie Carroll is taking over at short. So both Gonzalez and Barmes take this one off, and the pitch in there for a strike. Jason thought that might have been ball 4. 3-2 the count. Went to Meridian, Mississippi Community College, and Brad's trying to take him to school right now. And the 3-2 fastball is swung on and missed. Boy, is he raring back. Struck out Harp, and that is his 3rd strikeout. You know, Saturday the Dodgers and Angels had won 10. All kids 14 and under a free ticket to Universal Studios Hollywood to see the new The Fast and Furious Extreme Close-Up. For details, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS. 3 strikeouts for Brad Penny, 1 down, and Miguel Ojeda, right-hand hitting catcher. Ojeda resting Danny Ardwa today. Right-hand batter, hitting .236, and Ojeda takes a strike. 0-1 the count to Miguel. 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Penny turns on the rubber, and the strike 1 pitch, the Rockies catcher is hit foul down the right field line, out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to count. So Miguel with Jamie Carroll back of him, and then Jennings. Brad Penny standing back of the rubber. Penny coming into the ball game. His strikeout to walk ratio 2-1, and he has added 3 strikeouts thus far. Brad ready, and the strike 2 pitch over the top, foul back, so Miguel is still there. The other day they caught Eli Marrero, who had been a catcher and then played the outfield, but Marrero got a start at catcher. Now with Ardwa having caught the first 2 games, the boy from Guaymas in Mexico, Miguel Ojeda, at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Penny into the windup, and the strike 2 pitch coming up to Ojeda, very high, ball 1. Ojeda certainly big enough. He's 6'1" and about 230. Spent a long time playing for the Mexico City Reds, and then came up to San Diego, went to Seattle, and now with the Rockies. 1-2 the count to Miguel. Penny into the windup and delivers inside, and the count 2-2. Ojeda has never shown much power. He did have 8 one year playing for San Diego. He had just 1 last year for Seattle. Penny looks in, getting a sign from Russell Martin, and the 2-2 pitch is swung on and missed, and he took a lot off that pitch. That dropped down to 80 miles an hour, and he now has struck out 3 in a row. So, boy, that's pretty good when you can go from 95 to 80 and throw a strike on each pitch. 4 strikeouts for Brad Penny, and Jamie Carroll coming up. Jamie Carroll hitting .289 with 3 RBIs. He's been in 29 games. He's a young fella out of Evansville, Indiana. Hits a ground ball to shortstop, and a routine play for Rafael Furcal, and a routine inning for Brad Penny. So the Rockies go 1-2-3, and at the end of 2, no score. No score, 3rd inning. You look around and you see a cover of the Saturday Evening Post drawn by Norman Rockwell. A mother and father, a little 4-year-old son in dad's lap, and a brand new baby girl in mom's lap, fighting the sun and the glare. Don't forget the Dodgers and Rockies Tuesday at 7:10. All kids 14 and under receive free Dodger baseball cards, compliments of Tops. Give us a call, 866-DODGERS, or log on to Dodgers.com. Jennings' first pitch is a little low to Brad Penny. Ball 1, 1-0. Penny has really put the heat on the Rockies hitters. He's faced 8 batters, and the first pitch has been a strike 6 of the 8. Brad swings and lifts one up into that powder blue sky. Brad Hawpe coming in and makes the catch for the out, and it was a little tougher than it first appeared. He has sunglasses out there, but it is a bright, shiny canopy overhead. 1 away. And the batter will be Rafael Furcal. When Jason Jennings made his debut, it was the debut, I guess, of all debuts, maybe the best in Major League history. It happened in August 5 years ago, 2001, and the pitch to Furcal swung on and missed. He made his debut at Shea Stadium in New York. He beat the Mets. He shut out the Mets 10-0, and he hit a home run. Proceeds straight to Cooperstown. Jason Reddy in the strike 1 pitch. Furcal slaps at it and fouls it back. You know, Rafael will show bunt, run up in the hitter's box, and at the last minute slap at the ball. Omar Vizquel did the same thing, and he might have picked it up from him. He has gotten a base hit this year, hitting it by the drawn-in third baseman, slapping it to the hole at short, and he tried to do it again. 0-2 to Rafael, and fouls it back on a full swing, so he's still there. 0-2. No runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Back-to-back singles in the 2nd inning by Drew and Ibar, but the next 3 retired in order. Meanwhile, with 2 out, Penny hit Helton. Holiday doubled him to 3rd, and Hawpe struck out. Strike 2 pitch on the outside corner. Strike 3. Big guy throwing a big overhand change, and Furcal is just frozen and watches it catch the corner. So down goes Furcal. 2 out in the 3rd. That would be the 2nd strikeout for Jason Jennings, and the hitter will be Jose Cruz, who popped up to Jamie Smith, a second baseman. Jamie Carroll, Jason Smith playing around the bag today. And Jennings' pitch is swung on and fouled away, and the count 0-1. Our game all alone as of this hour of the day. Giants will play Houston tonight. According to the newspapers today, Barry Bonds will not play tonight in Houston, but we'll see. Pitch outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. The follow-up to Russ Springer, who made 5 inside pitches and finally hit Bonds last night. Springer left to go to Pollock, Louisiana. His wife was having surgery today. A drive to right. Hawk goes back to pick it off. Didn't get a jump. He might have lost it in the shirt sleeve crowd. So the Dodgers go 1-2-3, and at the end, 2. No score as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be Jason Jennings, then Corey Sullivan and Garrett Atkins. Jennings had 2 very easy innings. He retired the Dodgers on 6 pitches in the 1st inning and 9 pitches in the 3rd. Struggled a little bit in the 2nd inning. Meanwhile, Brad Penny has made 29 pitches in 2 innings. He has struck out 4 and ready to go to work. For Penny this year, his high in strikeouts, his very first game against Atlanta on the 3rd of April. You may remember he struck out 8. So Brad ready, bottom of the 3rd. Right-hander delivers and Jennings takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Jennings, a very good hitter. That home run opening day for him in his debut was no fluke. Hitting .294, 5 for 17, and he takes a ball and a strike. He has a double, 2 runs batted in, and in 20 plate appearances he has struck out once. For a pitcher, that's really special. He drives one to center. Cruz comes up and picks it off. So Jason Jennings lines out to center fielder Jose Cruz, and with 1 out, the batter will be Corey Sullivan. The Rockies have had a thing with doubles of late. Every time you look up at a Rocky game, they have picked up the extra base hit. And one of the fellas showing the way is Corey Sullivan. He's a gusher out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And the left-hand batter takes high, ball 1. As far as the Dodgers are concerned, they haven't found a way to cap him either. He has 13 doubles. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. Sullivan has a look at a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out, bottom of the 3rd. No score in the ball game. Penny into the windup and comes back 1-1, showing bunt, but Sullivan takes outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Corey went to school at Wake Forest and was a 2-way player in college. He would pitch, and then the rest of the days he played the outfield. 2-1 pitch, and Corey fouls it back, and the count 2-2. Sullivan, playing center field, is very close to his buddy in left fielder Matt Holliday. 2 years ago he was rehabbing, and he lived with Holliday and his wife, so the both of them kind of grew up together. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Corey Sullivan. And Penny over the top, and it's grounded foul outside of first down the line. Still 2-2. Last year, to break Corey Sullivan's batting averages down, he hit .250 against left-hand pitching, .299, all 4 of his home runs against right-handers, and fouls another one back. He has 1 home run in his leadoff role, and in the first inning he killed a couple of worms in front of home plate, and Russell Martin threw him out. 7th round pick by the Rockies 5 years ago. 2-2 pitch in the dirt. Nice save by Russell Martin, and the count 3-2. Dodgers fly home after the game. Tomorrow an open date, and then Friday night they'll pick up with the Angels. Now the 3-2 pitch. Penny ready. Here he comes, and it's whacked to right. Back goes Drew on the dead run. It's going to hit the base of the wall. Sullivan on his way for 2. In there standing with another double. 14 doubles. So Sullivan hits the base of the right field wall. Drew was not playing him to pull. He was playing him more to right center. And by the time J.D. got it back in, Sullivan was at second base. And now that's 2 doubles in 3 innings. Holiday doubled in the first inning. And the batter is Garrett Atkins. Penny out of a stretch and delivers, and is a ground ball wide of third. Ibar is up with it, gets it over to first in time with the ball hit ahead of him. Sullivan had to hold, and Todd Helton will be coming up. With 2 doubles today, the Rockies have 86 doubles. The Dodgers have 71. So Clint Hurdle saw his club leave runners at second and third in the first inning. Now they have a runner at second with 2 out in the third, and Helton trying to pick up Sullivan. Todd takes a look at a strike. 0-1 to count. Helton batting .301. Todd sidelined for a couple of weeks with a stomach ailment. 2 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Penny out of a stretch, looks back at second, now lifts the leg and comes to the plate. Fastball on the outside corner, and the count 0-2. On deck, Matt Holliday. Penny against Helton. Helton came in hitting .321 with a home run against him. Brad out of a stretch. No score, bottom of the third. Penny delivers, and it's slapped foul outside of third. Pitched down and away, a good breaking ball, and Helton making sure he didn't pay a price, and the count remains 0-2. So Todd Helton, a franchise player, came here in '97, signed a 9-year deal worth $141 million. The strike 2 pitch, and Todd pulls one foul down the right field line. So Helton is the franchise. He is signed to play here through 2012. 0-2 to count to Todd Helton. The volunteer from the University of Tennessee. He was the quarterback, and then Peyton Manning came along, and he wisely opted to go the baseball route. Strike 2 pitch is fouled away, and that was a case of a good hitter staying alive at the plate. Helton, although it is ungrammatical, waited on the pitch, and then at the last second slapped at the slider and fouled it off. So Todd is still there. 0-2 the count. In the last 5 games, 3 of those 5 games, Helton has had 2 hits. Penny ready and time. Martin wants to go out and talk to Brad, so timeout for the moment. Russell Martin might be a rookie, but he's a take charge kind of a guy. So even though Penny's been around, Martin doesn't hesitate, whether it's Penny or Lowe or anybody else. He doesn't hesitate to go out there and suggest, which has always been the keynote for a Dodger team. The catcher can only suggest. It's up to the pitcher to call his pitch. Fastball low, ball 1. 1-2 the count to Todd Helton. So he fouled off a couple of sliders just off the plate, and now Penny tried to come back fastball off the plate, and the count 1-2. No score, bottom of the third. Corey Sullivan at second with his double. He has 14 of them this year. Penny very deliberate now with a hitter like Helton up there. Here's the 1-2 pitch coming up. Brad ready and delivers. Fastball down and away, fouled off, and the duel continues. Count stays 1-2. Talking about the Rockies and their doubles and the fact that Corey Sullivan doubled in the third inning. Sullivan's 14th. As usual, it is Craig Biggio leading the league in doubles. The veteran second baseman of the Astros has 16, and Sully's right back of him now with 14. 1-2 the count to Helton. Penny delivers. Fastball fouled off. Lead making Penny work. Helton's numbers this year. He has struck out 15 times. and he's had well over 100 plate appearances. 1-2 the count. Todd, left-hand hitter, waiting. Penny set at the belt. Another look back at Sullivan. Double checks. Now to the plate. It's whacked down the right field line. Foul. So Todd Helton fouling in every which way and lost his balance on that last swing. As he stepped into the pitch, his left leg just buckled and he dropped to one knee. So it's still 1-2. So in this battle, Brad Penny has made 9 pitches so far against Todd Helton, and Matt Holliday, a blazing hot hitter, is on deck. Penny ready, and the 1-2 pitch to Todd, and it's a fastball hammered foul down the right field line off the facade of the second deck. So Helton has had 2 good rips and pulled them foul. So now this will be the 10th pitch between Penny and Helton. Quite a duel in the sun here in Denver. No score, bottom of the 3rd. Corey Sullivan at second base. Penny again looks in, now straightens up. Helton waiting at the plate, and the pitch is a fastball grounded to the left for call. Raphael is up with it and gets him. So it took 10 pitches, but Helton is retired. Rockies lead Sullivan, and at the end of 3, no score. Here's today's Aflac trivia question. Last night, Nomar Garciaparra's 10-game hitting streak ended. Who has the longest hitting streak in Dodger history? Well, we'll give you the answer in a little while. We go to the 4th inning in the ball game. No score. Jeff Kent, sidelined with the stiff back, will not appear in today's game at all. An outside chance that Kenny Lofton might appear, pinch hitter, maybe to bunt. And we go on to the 4th. Brad Penny made 23 pitches. 18 of them were strikes. And he got out of it, leaving Sullivan at second base. That's a strike to Garciaparra, who popped up in the 1st inning. Oh, and 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Garciaparra, Drew, and Ibar in that order. Dodgers have won 8 of the last 11. Rockies have won 6 of the last 8 at home, and that's a ground ball to Jamie Carroll. 1 away. So Nomar drawing blanks when 0 for 3 last night, 0 for 5 now. In the first game, remember, he had a base hit, a walk, and he was also hit by a pitch. And the batter, J.D. Drew, who singled to left field in the 2nd inning. He found the hole on the left side, just went the other way. On the outside corner. That's the way Jennings was pitching him in the 2nd inning. Drew got the message, didn't try to pull, and took the base hit to left. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dodgers 20 wins, 20 losses. That puts them 2.5 back of Arizona. Rockies are 22-18, a half a game back. Two and 1 to J.D. Pulls to the hole on the right side, but on the grass is Jason Smith to take care of him. 2 ground balls here in the 4th inning for outs. Willie Ibar, the batter, no score, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors for each side. Ibar got into the game last night when Kent's back stiffened up, and he had a single and a double, and then he had a base hit to right field first time up today. Very aggressive switch hitter, Willie Ibar. Ibar doing his damage batting left-handed. He is 1 for 4 right-handed. 1-1. And that's a strike. 1-2. Two down, bases empty. Went after it, fouled it into the dirt, so he's still up there. When we see the Angels Friday night, the Angels have an Ibar. His name is Eric Ibar, and he's been at Salt Lake. He is the younger brother of Willie Ibar, so we'll have a reunion Friday night. I think Eric is still with the Angels. 1-2. Fouled away. That's like Cesar is Turris and Macier is Turris, but they both have had physical ailments. 1-2 to Willie. And hammered down the right field line, foul. He hit that ball like Todd Helton. Jennings has retired 8 in a row, just off the plate. Tantalizing changeup. He goes from the mid-90s down to 80 with the change. So 2-2. And on the corner, great pitch on the heels of the changeup. He just throws that slider, which is about the same speed. And at the end of 3 1/2, no score. Remember the Affleck trivia question last night? Nomar Garciaparra's 10-game hitting streak ended. Who has the longest hitting streak in Dodgers history? Affleck! And you were right on the money. If you dug out Willie Davis' 31-game hitting streak way back in 1969. Of course, that brings up a point. Years ago, they used to talk about what record will never be broken. And as we know, it looks like Babe Ruth's total, and right away Holliday hit by the pitch. Matt Holliday has had 6 hits in his last 6 at-bats against the Dodgers. The Rockies record is 9 straight by Andres Galarraga. The Holliday hit by the pitch. That's the second hit batter. Helton was hit in the first inning. Anyway, now that Ruth's single season mark of 60 was shattered, Barry somewhere along the line will pass the 714. The one record that most baseball people feel will not be broken, Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak of 56. That was done way back in 1941. Those wonderfully naive years prior to World War II as far as the United States involvement. 1 ball and no strikes to Brad Hawpe. He struck out in the first inning. And that's how he struck out in the first inning. Fastballs down. Of course, being a left-hand hitter, he likes that ball down, so you're really dealing strength against strength here. Interesting for Holliday and Hawpe. Together, they have hit 21 home runs, 17 of them with the bases empty. And when Hawpe hit his 3-run home run last night, that was the first time this year he hit one with somebody on. Holliday has hit a couple with a base or 2 occupied. 1-2 to Brad Hawpe. And a towering drive to center. but it looks like it's playable. Cruz to the track to make the catch. Tagging is Holiday, but he'll hold on. So that's about a 400-foot, maybe 405-foot out. Last night, Kenny Lofton hit a ball to center that Sullivan caught 2 steps from the 415 sign. So again, one of the reasons they say, not just the grass, but also the baseballs that are put in the humidor. And they have now gotten far more humidity, and not that they've been deadened, but they have not been the golf balls that they used prior to the humidor. So a long out. 1 down. Holiday at first, and here is Jason Smith. Left-hand hitter struck out in the 2nd inning. Ball 1. No score. Bottom of the 4th. Totals identical. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors for each side. Smith's been around. He'll be 29 near the end of July. 6'3", about 200. It's a big size for a second baseman. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. They say the Rockies' top prize, the rookie they expect to come here in a year or two, is 6'3" and about 230, and a shortstop. 1-1. Holiday over at first base is 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Jason Smith struck out, and Smitty has struck out 18 times in 67 at bats. So you wonder if they're going to put a play on with a fellow who has struggled making contact. On deck, Miguel Ojeda, the catcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch out, no action. 2-1 to count. Of course, now Grady Little guessing they might run Holiday. Now he has to wonder whether they're going to put a hit and run play on. Holiday just checked quickly with Davy Collins. Very short lead over there. He is going, and it's beaten foul in front of the plate. So 2-2 the count to Jason Smith. Jason started his professional career back in 1997. He was a 23rd round pick of the Chicago Cubs back in '96. 2-2. Holiday bluffs, and it's strike 3. So it's pretty hard to put a play on when you have a fellow who strikes out a lot, and Jason Smith strikes out a 2nd time. 5 strikeouts for Brad Penny. No action from Holiday, and Miguel Ojeda, who struck out in the 2nd inning, coming up. Well, it is a nice warm day here in Denver as opposed to a cool night in San Francisco. We bring that up because, remember, Penny went 5 innings in San Francisco and his back stiffened up. And that's going to be hit over the head for call for a base hit. And breezing over to third easy goes Matt Holiday. So Miguel Ojeda gets a base hit over for Call's glove. 1st and 3rd, 2 down, and Jamie Carroll coming up. So it's a frustrating game for Clint Hurdle. They had 2nd and 3rd in the 1st inning. They left Sullivan at 2nd base in the 3rd, and now they have 1st and 3rd in the 4th. And Jamie Carroll out of Evansville, Indiana, originally selected by the Expos 10 years ago out of the University of Evansville. Ball 1 to Jamie. He's 5'10" and about 170. He had 4 years with the Expos and the Nationals last year, and then came over here this season. grew up in Newburgh, Indiana. That's just across the Ohio River from Kentucky. 1 ball and no strikes to Jamie. Foul tip, 1-1. Clint Barmas, who was the big man at shortstop until he broke his collarbone last year in June. Barmas is really struggling. Barmas is hitting .208. He went 0 for 4 last night, and Barmas has had 5 hits in his last 56 at bats. So that's why Jamie Carroll is playing. 1-1. Foul back, 1-2. Carroll in limited service came into the game hitting .289. So Hurdle decided to give him a shot. Coming down the line from third, Matt Holliday. Over at first, Miguel Ojeda. And Carroll with Jennings hitting back of him on a 1-2 count. And there goes the runner, and it's fouled away. So they had Ojeda going with 2 out, and Carroll fouled it off. Jamie Carroll has had to have a big heart. They always talked about it in Montreal. He was 28 years old by the time he got to the big leagues. He's 31 now. One and 2 to Jamie. 2-2. When Carroll was called up, the Expos were in Chicago. Since he lived so close to Chicago, they called him up the middle of September. Played in the last 16 of the 17 final games that year and shocked everybody. Hit .310. Trying to pick somebody up here. The deuces are wild. Runner going, line drive, scared by Garciaparra. What an immense play by Nomar. He's coming off the bag on the pitch and somehow reacted and speared the line drive. Wow. No score.
A story you'll tell your friends. A story you'll tell your kids. The story you'll tell complete strangers. Dodger baseball. What will you take home?
Saturday, May 20th, kids 14 and under take home a Universal Studios Hollywood Kids ticket. For details, visit Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS.
Dodger baseball on FSN Prime Ticket is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With more flights to more places than ever before, Southwest is taking low fares farther. By Aflac, ask about it at work. And by Lexus and their passionate pursuit of perfection. Thanks to Nomar Garciaparra, no score as we go to the 5th inning. What a brilliant play he made coming off the bag, and the ball is hit over the bag and he speared it. That saved 1 and maybe 2. Meanwhile, Andre Ethier, a ground ball to Martinez, rolling it over, and just like that, Jamie Smith throws him out. 1 down, and Ramon Martinez coming up. A little while ago, we mentioned Jamie Carroll. Mike Ireland, our director, said sounds like he has 2 girls' names. And it reminded me years ago, the Dodgers had a baseball player and wife, and it was Carroll and Jimmy. And Carroll was the Dodger pitcher, and Jimmy was his wife. Carroll's last name was Barringer. All right, 5th inning, no score, and here's Martinez. Ball 1. We have 1 out in the 5th. No score. Ramon struck out in the 2nd inning. Dodgers have had 2 men get on base, back-to-back singles by Drew and Ibar, and that's it. The Rockies have threatened, and they have had 2 men get to 3rd and another get to 2nd. And if Garciaparra doesn't make that play, they might have had a bunch there in the 4th. 2-0. You know, Nomar came into the game having been involved in 222 plays of all sorts and no errors. And he has saved the Dodger infield a lot, especially Rafael Furcal. That's a strike. The prevailing wind, and it's been with us since we arrived, blowing from back of center field and slanting over to left, heading to the west. A hopper to short. There's Jamie Carroll to throw him out. Oh, let's see. Since Ibar singled, the Dodgers have not done a thing. That's 10 in a row retired by Jason Jennings. And Russell Martin coming up, hit into a force play in the second inning. Brad Penny on deck. Two out, bases empty in the fifth. Ball one. Martin getting his first exposure to Jason Jennings. 2-0 the count, putting a new ball in play. Martin started the game at 267. Russell has a home run, 5 runs batted in. Two and 0. Drop that in. 2-1. He throws his slider, but he doesn't throw it hard at all. It's almost, if you can think of a change-up slider. And that's in there. 2-2 the count. Now that slider was 80 miles an hour. The previous one was 79. 2-2 to Martin. And that's going to be hammered into the gap. Over to cut it off, Corey Sullivan. So a line drive, 2-out single by Russell Martin. So after a couple of sliders, he got a sinker that didn't sink too much and singled. Hit number 3 for the Dodgers brings up Brad Penny, who flied to right field in the third inning. Brad had his bacon saved by Nomar in the fourth. To repeat, the pitching for the Angels series, Aaron Seeley Friday night against Jeff Weaver. Right. Saturday afternoon, Brett Tomko and Kevin Gregg. Sunday afternoon, Derek Lowe and Irvin Santana. And then Jay Sow will pitch Monday night, and Penny will come back Tuesday night. 0-2. Jennings, who is the Rookie of the Year 4 years ago, 0-2. And a little slow ground ball to Carroll. And that's it. So no runs, a 2-out single by Martin. They leave him. And at the end of 4.5, no score. No score, bottom of the fifth inning. Brad Penny has hit 2, walked none, struck out 5. With a breaking ball for a strike to Atkins, a fastball to take care of Hoff, a fastball to finish off Smith, then a breaking ball to take care of Ojeda, and another breaking ball to freeze Jason Smith. So we go to the bottom of the fifth inning. Even though he has not walked anybody, he has hit 2. He hit Helton with 2 out in the first inning, and he nailed Holiday leading off the inning. For Penny, he had only hit 2 coming into the game, so he's far from having a reputation of being a headhunter. And now Jason Jennings, who lined out to Jose Cruz, will lead off. Good hitter. Ball one. And Brad throwing hard. It's 94. He's been at 95. So two big men battling it out right now. And fly ball into shallow right. Martinez out. Drew in. It's Martinez. One away. The big play so far occurred in the fourth inning. With runners at first and third and two out. Jamie Carroll hit what looked like a short double down the line. And Garcia Parra speared it to save at least one and maybe two runs. Though it's still scoreless in the fifth. Corey Sullivan topped the ball in front of the plate and was thrown out, and then doubled to the base of the right field wall in the third. Stayed a little high. Ball one. 1-0. Sullivan 1 for 2 today. 27 for 65 against the Dodgers. Right around the 400 mark. 1 ball and 1 strike to Corey. And a little roller foul. 1-2 the count. The one thing Sullivan had to do when he came up a year ago, he's tall enough. He is 6'1", but he looked too light. Looked like he couldn't play every day. So he's added, about 20 pounds. And he did that right after the 2005 season. Foul back. So all of a sudden, he's a 195-pounder up there. One out, fifth inning, no score. Each side with 3 hits. The Rockies are the frustrated ones. They've had 3 chances to score, and the Dodgers have able to keep them away. 2-2. Sullivan 1 home run, 7 runs batted in. Just off the plate with that fastball. He sure didn't miss by much. And it was 95 miles an hour on the gun. So a couple of boys from Oklahoma banging heads here. Penny and Sullivan. And a high fly ball to center. Playable. Cruz is there. 2 down. And you can see what Brad Penny does. Struggles at the start of the games, then finally gets that big frame loose. And look at his ERA in the middle 3 innings. Less than 1. Well, he's in the bottom of the 5th right now with 2 out. Garrett Atkins has struck out and grounded to third. Atkins coming into the game was 3 for 7. Foul back. 0-1. Ramon Martinez plays Atkins on the grass. Furcal is deep at short. And the outfield, if anything, collapsing a little on the middle, giving Atkins the lines. That's fouled, out of play. 0-2. Two down, 5th inning, no score. Fouled away. There've already been 2 shutouts here this year. The Rockies lost 1-0, and the Rockies behind Jennings won 3-0. So things have changed up here for sure. The dimensions the same. The city is still a mile high, but the scores are certainly different. 0-2. Ball 1. Todd Helton waiting his turn on deck. The rubber game of the series. But the Dodgers and the Rockies have a lot of time to spend together. The 3 games here. Then when the Dodgers come home, the Rockies will be there on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And then in June, the Dodgers come right back here on the 9th, 10th, and 11th. Then we won't see the Rockies for a while, middle of August. 2-2. Took a little off that and dropped it low, so ball 3. 3-2 to Garrett Atkins, and Helton waits on deck. Fastball hit to center. Cruz coming up to play it on a bounce. So Atkins goes 1 for 3 as he singles to center. It also points up the fact that even though Brad Penny is pitching a strong effort to Max Jennings, he has retired the side in order only once. So Atkins singles with 2 out. Helton hit by a pitch and grounded to short in a 10-pitch at bat coming up. And drives it to right, hooking down the line, foul. He had a couple down there during that 10-pitch at bat. 0-1. Helton at the start of the game against Penny was 9 for 28. That's a .321 batting average with 1 home run. 0-1 to Todd. Off the plate. Helton, with all of his power, all of his home runs, he's hit as many as 49. Only once has he struck out more than 100 times, and that's when he hit the 49 home runs. He struck out 104 times, but had 146 runs batted in. Fouled away. 1-2. When he was a kid growing up in Knoxville, Tennessee, some of his favorite players were all wonderful hitters. Rod Carew and Don Mattingly, and then as he got older, he really admired Mark Grace. 1-2. 2-2. Todd is 6'2", 220 pounds, and he'll be 33 the 20th of August. His career batting average leads all active major leaguers. At the start of the year, his career average .337. Fouled away. And for 8 straight years, he's averaged 20 home runs or more. Although some of those years, people will say it was strictly because of Coors Field in Denver. But he is an acknowledged fine hitter and a Gold Glove first baseman. 2-2. And driven to right, but it's hooking foul. Way out of play. Penny trying to be very careful with a very good hitter. Brad has allowed 2 home runs this year. That great style of Helton's to hit didn't come by accident. Most nights, way back in grade school, he would hit balls into a net in the family garage. Way outside. His father had rigged up a tee from the hose of an old washing machine. His dad had been a minor league catcher for a little while. So when he was 5 years old, he started to take batting practice. Boy, did he make it. 3-2. And there goes the runner on strike 3 call. So Helton takes what he thought was outside, and the plate umpire Ted Barrett said it got a corner. So no runs, 1 hit, and at the end of 5, no score. In his day as a Dodger pitcher, Carlos can pitch 2 no-hitters. Well, on this day in 1953, he came awfully close. No-hitter going into the 6th inning, and Gus Bell broke it up, believe it or not, with a bunt single. Good thing the game was in Cincinnati. Had it been in Ebbets Field, I think they would have been a little ticked off. Let's go back to this one. 6th inning, no score. So it's push against shove here. Jason Jennings and Brad Penny. Dodgers will have Rafael Furcal, Jose Cruz, and Nomar Garciaparra. Hit foul off third out of play, 0-1. Neither pitcher has walked a batter. Jennings has struck out 3. Penny has struck out 6. And Penny has hit 2 batters. 0-1. Ground ball to the hole. Plugging it up nicely is Jason Smith. 1 away. The Jose Cruz coming up, popped up and flied to right. So Furcal goes 0 for 3. He came here with an 8-game streak, but he's now gone 0 for 7. Cruz 0 for 2. Garciaparra 0 for 2. The Dodger hits. Drew and Ibar have singles in the 2nd inning. And then Martin had a base hit in the 5th. The Rockies have 4 hits, including doubles by Holliday and Sullivan, singles by Ojeda and Atkins. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Outfield shaded to left on Cruz. Off the plate. Because both fellas can throw hard, but Penny throws much harder than Jennings. Jennings on that last pitch, 72 miles an hour. And as we mentioned, he's been throwing his slider at about 80. Barely a wrinkle. And he walks Jose Cruz on 4 pitches. Well, don't forget the Dodger Coca-Cola family pack includes 4 tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, 4 Cokes for $52. A savings of $44. The family pack available at select Sunday and Wednesday home games all season long. And the next family pack game is coming up Wednesday the 24th against the Rockies at 7:10. So give us a call, check Dodgers.com, and we'll see you at the ballpark. Here is Nomar. Popped up, grounded out, and lifts one in foul ground. Miguel Ojeda. So Garciaparra might be 0 for 3 with the bat, but he has still made the #1 play of the game with the glove, and that was on the ball hit by Jamie Carroll in the 4th inning. So Nomar obviously disappointed. 2 down, and J.D. Drew checking in. J.D. Drew single to left and grounded to second, and Jamie Smith, or Jason Smith, playing deep. Jamie Carroll over to his left. 2 out, 6th inning, no score. Cruz at first. And that's ball 1 to Drew. Cruz doesn't do a lot of base running, but he is perfect 4 for 4 in stolen bases. J.D. 30 RBIs, 7 home runs. 2-0. Rockies will have Holliday, Hoff, and Smith due up in the bottom of the 6th. No score. Jason Jennings and Brad Penny. And ball 3. What is so rare as a day in June? How about a scoreless battle at Coors Field in Denver? Jennings now on the edge. He already walked Cruz, first walk in the game. Now he's behind 3-0 to Drew, and he has the rookie Willie Ibar on deck. 3-0 to JD. Outside. So 2 on walks, 2 out. Meanwhile, Bob Apodaca going out to the mound to counsel Jennings. Willie Ibar singled to right and struck out. The Bob Apodaca, born in Los Angeles. Bob had a good career pitching in the big leagues and a well-respected pitching coach. For years it must have been very difficult to advise here at Coors Field. All right, Bob Apodaca slowly going back to the dugout, and Willie Ibar checking in. 1 for 2 today. 2 on and 2 out, no score. Ball 1. So Jennings all of a sudden struggling. Walk Cruz, and with 2 out, walk Drew on 4 pitches. 1 ball and no strikes to Ibar. Sullivan shading to left center. Holliday closer to the line, and Haup over more to right center. Big chopper. Heldon backs up for the hop, feeding his man coming over, and Jennings makes the play. That was a tough play for Todd Helton. So no runs, no hits, 2 left, and at the end of, well, we don't make it till you order. Well, we're traveling to Coors over the Rocky Mountains, and it'll be Holliday, Haup, and Smith coming up in that order. No score in the bottom of the 6th. Matt Holliday hit by a pitch in the 4th inning, so his streak is still alive. He has 6 straight hits and 6 at-bats, and he doubled in the 1st inning. 0-1 to Matt. So another Oklahoman. Matt Holliday's from Stillwater and was drafted by the Rockies at a Stillwater high school. And of course Brad from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Oh and 1. And fouled away. Holliday, like Todd Helton, was a quarterback. Helton at the University of Tennessee. Matt was perhaps the 2nd best high school quarterback in the country back about 1997. He is the son of Oklahoma State baseball coach Tom Holliday. So he is well grounded in the game's fundamentals. 0-2. Ground ball wide to first. Now Garcia-Parra left, now gets back, and he is out at first. Probably the toughest play for a first baseman. When to go after the ball and when not, and he got caught, but he was able to get back. An uninspiring call at first base by Troy Fullwood, but he finally made it, and a fine play by Garcia-Parra. 1 away. Brad Haup struck out, fly to center, 0 for 2. Good fastball on the outside part of the plate, and he's in the middle 90s again. 0-1. Brad is a Texan, went to school at Louisiana State. 1 ball, 1 strike. We mentioned that Brad Haup during the offseason before this year started worked out with a track and field team at Texas Christian University 2 hours a day, 3 days a week to increase his speed. He's 6'2", 205-pounder. No score, bottom of the 6th, 1 out. Rockies no runs, 4 hits. Dodgers no runs, 3 hits. Dodgers have gotten 2 men to second base. The Rockies have gotten 2 men to third base. And bottom of the 6th. Dodgers will have Ethier, Martinez, and Martin due up in the 7th, with Penny due to bat 4th. The 3-2 to Brad Hawpe. Penny has not walked anybody. He has hit 2. Jennings has walked 2. Quite a pitching duel in an unlikely spot. And down goes Hawpe on a fastball away. That was 94, and it's the second time that Penny has struck out Hawpe. It also gives Brad 7 strikeouts, and that thing was really tailing on the outside part of the plate. So Penny, a magnificent 5 2/3 innings, and now Jason Smith, whom he has struck out twice. Ball 1. Jason from a little town, Coatopa, Alabama. Coatopa. 1-1. And a fly ball, slicing foul down the left field line. 1-2 the count. Boy, a splendid day here in Denver. Nice crowd on hand to see a jewel of a game. No score in the 6th. Brad Penny and Jason Jennings. 1-2. And that's hit to Santa Cruz, coming up to play it on a bounce. Jason Smith getting a curveball and able to straighten it out. Penny no doubt unhappy with that pitch, and the batter will be Miguel Ojeda. Ojeda, the veteran from the Mexican League, lives in Mazatlan, born in Guaymas, and first came up 3 years ago with San Diego. Last year didn't play hardly at all, leaving San Diego, going to the minors, and then coming up to Seattle. And there goes the runner. The pitch is a strike. The throw is late. So Jason Smith gets a little jump and proceeds to steal for Jason his first stolen base. In the minor leagues, he stole as many as 23, but in the big leagues, he had 2 last year with Detroit. So it's a big stolen base, and Ojeda now trying to pick him up. 0-1. Ground ball wide to third, into left field. And the run will score, and the Rockies lead 1-0. So the curveball to Jason Smith, then the stolen base, and then the ground ball that snakes its way through the thick infield grass to score the run. Ojeda, in looking at the ball, seeing if there's a play, hurt himself a little bit running to first, and Clint Hurdle wants to make sure that his catcher is okay. The Rockies trainer talking to Miguel. He's 31 years old. Big man, 6'1", about 230. And Clint comes out and says, "What's up?" So Ojeda goes 2 for 3. And the Rockies break through to take a 1-0 lead. So now Brad Penny is vulnerable for coming out Jonathan Broxton is up in the pen. The ground ball by Ojeda got through the hole, and then looking at him as he goes down the line, there's nothing wrong with him. But then all of a sudden he bends over, so something hurt. And Hurdle has decided to take him by his word and leave him in. So with 2 out, Jason Smith got a curveball, and I know Penny wanted it back, and Smith singled. Then, insult to injury, stole second, and Miguel Ojeda drives in the run. For Ojeda, his 10th RBI of the year. That's one hit to right, but coming up is J.D. Drew, and that'll be that for Jamie Carroll. However, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left, and at the end of 6, 1-0 Rockies. As you compare the pitchers, one thing, notice the 7 strikeouts for Penny. That means he made a lot of extra pitches. In his 6 innings, Penny has made 109 pitches. For Jason Jennings, with only 3 strikeouts, he goes into the 7th inning having made only 81. So that's a pretty big difference. 28 pitches in 6 innings. So Penny is also on the short end of a 1-0 score, due to bat 4th in the 7th. And we shall see. Andre Ethier starting in left field, then Ramon Martinez and Russ Martin. Ethier flied to left, grounded to second, 0 for 2. And a strike, 0-1. Jennings had 1 tough inning. That was the 2nd inning when he made 24 pitches. Pulled foul down the line. 0-2. I don't think Jennings has hit any higher than maybe 90. Penny has been as high as 95. Jennings, a lot of sliders and sinkers. 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was a sinker down and dirty, so Ted Barrett throws it out. So Andre trying to get something started here. Figured the Dodgers would struggle a bit without Kent and without Lofton in the lineup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ground ball to Atkins. 1 away in the 7th inning. One of the things that makes Jason Jennings a successful pitcher, and especially here in this ballpark, is the fact he throws a lot of sinkers and sliders. And in looking back to the scorebook, he allowed 2 fly ball putouts in right field on balls hit by Penny and Cruz. A couple of infield pop-ups, but everything else on the ground. And here now Ramon Martinez struck out, grounded to short. Ball 1. Ramon has made 2 starts now at second, short, and third. On deck, Russell Martin. Considering the fact that Brad Penny went 5 and had the stiff back, and he went 6 today, having made 109 pitches, it could be that he won't go out there for the 7th inning. We'll see. Jonathan Broxton continues to throw in the Dodger bullpen. Ground ball. Atkins can't short hop it. He thought it was going to come up, and it stayed down. So Martinez gets a base hit to left field, and the batter will be Russell Martin. That's hit number 4 off Jennings. Atkins moving to his left, had the glove not quite down enough. Almeida Signs is coming out of the Dodger dugout. So that will be all for Penny. It didn't figure he'd be in the game much longer. So Martin the batter, and Signs will hit for Penny. Martin hit into a force play and single to center. A strike. That's another thing that Jason Jennings has done, getting that first pitch for a strike to the majority of the hitters. He's allowed one leadoff man to get on, and that was Drew, who singled in the second inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's another sinker in the dirt. New ball put in play. Tomorrow, an off day, Friday night. The Dodgers and the Angels, Darren Seeley and Jeff Weaver. It's as if they just exchanged uniforms. 1-1. Brad Penny, having made 109 pitches in 6 innings. That would be the second most pitches for Penny this year. Against Milwaukee, he made 116. But he's still shy of what you would think is the bottom line for a starting pitcher. There goes the runner. Hit and run ground ball. Going back to get it is Jason Smith, and it's safe at first. So a perfectly executed hit and run play. Even though Jason Smith went back to make a good effort, Russell Martin beats the throw, and the Dodgers now, for the second time today, have 2 men on and 1 out. So Martin, an infield single, and now Olmedo signs. Apodaca going out to talk to Jennings, I'm sure, to remind him of how they want to pitch signs. Olmedo is hitting .286. He has 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in. He appeared as a pinch hitter last night and fouled out, and started the first game of the series and went 0 for 3. So down in the bullpen, left-handed Tom Martin and right-hander Ramon Ramirez begin to throw back at Jennings. Jennings has now made 91 pitches. So the Dodgers 2 on, Martinez and Martin 1 out, and the Rockies leading 1-0. Signs, as a pinch hitter, has 4 hits, including a home run. Fouled away, 0-1. And he starts him slider. I would doubt he's going to get very many fastballs. He is a solid fastball hitter. No balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball, another slider, 0-2. Interestingly enough, and frustrating for Grady Little, last night the Dodgers were 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, and today they are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, and Signs is in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. 2 sliders put him there. Off the plate, ball 1. 1-2. So it could have been Apodaca went out there to remind Jennings, stay with the breaking ball. 3 sliders in a row, 1-2 the count. Martinez at second, representing a tying run. Martin at first, 1 out. 7th inning, 1-0 Rockies. Off the plate, throw to first, no play, and a 2-2 count. So Miguel Ojeda, despite feeling some pain on his base hit, still in there. Martin with Helton deep back of him. Martinez a cautious lead at second with one out, and a 2-2 count to Olmedo Signs. And a ground ball to the hole, through into left field. Martinez coming to score to tie it up, and Martin holding at second after stumbling and rounded the bag. So after all the breaking balls, Jennings threw a changeup, and Signs grounds a single to left. Martinez scoring, Martin takes second, a 1-1 tie, 3 straight hits with one out, and Rafael Furcal will be coming up. So Martinez, whose single to left, eventually scores the tying run. Now Rafael Furcal grounded to short, struck out, grounded to second, 0 for 3. Atkins plays up on the grass. Carroll trying to bird dog Martin, and that's a strike. And now Jennings has made 97 pitches. So not only is Penny off the hook, he is still the pitcher of record, could be the winner. 0-1. Off the plate by a lot. So Signs comes up with his 5th pinch hit and his 6th run batted in coming off the bench. A tough way to do it, but he's very much a professional hitter. 1-1 to count. Furcal with Cruz on deck. And a fastball in there. He hadn't thrown very many fastballs in the inning, and they count 1-2. The Martinez single to left. Russell Martin, they put the hit and run play on, and he was able to leg the throw by the second baseman Jason Smith. And Furcal goes down on strikes. That is only the 4th strikeout for Jason Jennings. And now Jose Cruz coming up with 2 on and 2 out in a 1-1 tie. It should also be noted that Jason Jennings just made his 100th pitch to strike out Furcal. Cruz popped up to second, flied to right, and walked. 2 on, 2 out. Martin at second, Signs at first. Last time up in the 6th inning, Cruz walked. That's when Jennings had his 1 momentary lapse when he walked 2. 0-1. Oh, 2. So things got tough, and he struck out Furcal, and now Jennings goes 0-2 to Jose Cruz. Jennings, by the way, is due to lead off in the bottom of the 7th inning. Check swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cruz struggling from this side of the plate, but as we said, it's been a struggle all year. He came in hitting 183 left-handed, so he's trying to move Martin and Signs. One and two. Martin gets away from Ojeda, and the runners move up to second and third. So another breaking ball in the dirt. We assume a wild pitch charged to Jennings. So Signs is at second, Martin is at third, and this becomes a huge at bat now for Jose Cruz. I mean, the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on at second and third, and Garciaparra on deck. Ball 3. So this becomes a moment of truth for both Jennings and Cruz. They're moving around down in the bullpen. Tom Martin had been up, the left-hander. So 3-2 the count. 2 out, a 1-1 tie, 7th inning. The outfield shaded to left. 3-2. And it's way out. So Cruz walks for the second time, and it loads the bases. 3 walks for Jennings. And with the bases loaded, here comes Nomar. Garciaparra popped up, grounded to short, and swung at the first pitch and fouled out in the 6th inning. He's had a half a dozen slams in his career. He had a slam this year, remember, in Houston against Brad Lidge to hit it in the 9th inning and win the game. Jennings from a stretch trying to improve his control, and a strike. For Jennings and Garciaparra coming into the game, Nomar was 2 for 10, though he is now 2 for 13 against Jennings. Martin, Signs, and Cruz all out there in a 1-1 tie, 7th inning. Jennings has now made 107 pitches. He's right up there with Brad Penny. And a slider on the corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Now back. Garciaparra has done a remarkable job with the glove, and he has done a remarkable job of hitting, and he has done a remarkable job of avoiding the strikeout. In fact, he wears the number of times he has struck out this year, but he's in trouble now. 0-2. Hard ground ball, base hit. In comes Martin. Here comes Signs. He is safe. The ball gets away, and the Dodgers have runners at second and third and lead 3-1. And Nomar does it again. So Garciaparra takes second on the throw. Cruz goes to third, and scoring on the base hit, Martin and Signs. And for Clint Hurdle, he gave Jennings all the rope in the world, and Jennings will be coming out right now. So the Dodgers take a 3-1 lead. Jennings will leave, and we'll be back. Nomar Garciaparra comes up with a key hit to drive in 2 and give the Dodgers a 3-1 lead. And now a former Dodger, left-handed Tom Martin, comes out of the bullpen. Martin with the Dodgers in 2003 and 4, then went to Atlanta, and now comes back up here with the Colorado Rockies. Tom was born in Charleston, South Carolina, lives in Panama City. Meanwhile, down in the dumps is Jason Jennings. One of the reasons that he stayed with him, I'm sure, if you talk to Hurdle, the fact that Jennings was due to lead off the bottom of the seventh, and how many times managers get impaled figuring I don't want to waste a hitter or a pitcher, and with 2 out he kept expecting to get that 3rd out, and it never came. A little dribbler, Martin to Helton. So Hejda backing up his pitcher, and for the Dodgers, they come up with 2 on that clutch base hit by Nomar and lead. Bottom of the 7th inning, Dodgers leading the Rockies 3-1. To look ahead on our calendar, Dodgers will be home tomorrow, an off day. Friday and Sunday, the telecast will be on FSN Prime Ticket. Saturday afternoon on the big Fox network. Then Monday night with the Rockies will be on KCAL 9. Tuesday and Wednesday nights on FSN Prime Ticket. So that's your TV schedule, but we certainly hope you make your plans to be out at Dodger Stadium during the homestand. Nomar Garciaparra, who had his 10-game hitting streak snapped last night and was 0 for 5 last night and today, not only made the big play defensively in the 4th inning, but he comes up with the big base hit. So now Jonathan Broxton is asked to hold that Tiger for Brad Penny. I'm surprised we still have a mound out there, because you had Penny, who's about 240, Jennings 245, and now Broxton, who is 280. But the mound is still obviously 10 inches above the surface, and Luis Gonzalez, a second baseman, at the plate. A strike. Gonzalez last night 1 for 4, also lost a hit on a nice play by Robles, and in the first game went 0 for 4. 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike to Luis from Maracay in Venezuela. He hit .244 against right-handers last year. 8 up left-handers, hit .380. Ball 2. Gonzalez right now hitting .225. Luis, originally drafted by the Indians, he's been with the Rockies for 2 years plus now. 2-1. No swing, so that was in the dirt and went to the backstop. Ball 3. So Jonathan Broxton, no record, ERA of 1.5. He's allowed 1 earned run. It was a home run in 6 previous innings. And a strike. 3-2. Dodgers 3, Rockies 1, bottom of the 7th. 3-2. And hit foul. So Gonzalez, he'll be followed by Sullivan and Atkins, and if anybody gets on, Todd Helton. Got him. So Broxton comes in and strikes out Gonzalez. 1 out in the 7th. And the batter will be Corey Sullivan. Sullivan grounded out, topped the ball out in front of the plate, double to right, and fly to center. On deck, Garrett Atkins. Sullivan 1 home run, 7 runs batted in. Atkins hitting back of him has 4. Ibar playing on the edge of the grass at third. 1-1. Well, Broxton throwing in the same neighborhood as Penny. He's hitting 93, 94. That's where Penny was for 6 innings. Check swing, but a strike. 1-2 the count. Dodgers had 3 runs and 7 hits against Jennings. The Rockies 1 run, 6 hits against Penny. 1-2. Two and two the count as Broxton hits 94. He held up. No, says third base umpire Tim Tashida. So Broxton comes in and strikes out Gonzalez and Sullivan. 2 down. So now the batter is Garrett Atkins, and with Todd Helton on deck, why, this is a big at bat for Atkins. Atkins has struck out, grounded out, and singled. Ball 1. Broxton has never pitched against the Rockies. 1 ball, no strikes. And fastball is hit down for call. So Broxton comes in a 1-2-3 inning. And as he walks off at the end of 7, Dodgers 3, Rockies 1. Dodgers leading 3-1 as we go to the 8th inning. Ramon Ramirez, coming out of the bullpen, was absolutely brilliant until he came in the other night against the Dodgers. He was 2-0 and had not allowed a run. He had struck out 20 and walked only 2, and the Dodgers roughed him up in the 7th inning for 3 runs and went on to win the game 5-4. Ramirez is from Santiago in the Dominican Republic. He was with the Rockies in their organization, but originally drafted by the Rangers. 5'11", 190, 24 years old. And Ramirez now picking up the slack for Jennings and Martin. And he'll pitch to Willie Ibar. Ibar single, struck out, and grounded out. So the Dodgers ran up against a tough hombre, especially here at Coors, and got rid of him. Strike. Jennings had gone 15 1/3 consecutive scoreless innings here without allowing an earned run. Mike Hamden held the record of 17. But then the Dodgers finally got all over Jennings, thanks to Nomar Garciaparra and Olmedo Sign. So 3-1 Dodgers in the 8th. Penny made 109 pitches. Jennings made 110. And they are each the pitcher of record. Fastball pulled. Jason Smith one away. The paid attendance today on what was a lovely day, and all of a sudden we start getting shades of gray bordering on black overhead. We have 30,296. And the whole day has changed. So 1 out, and here is Andre Ethier. And he hits a drive to left. Going back on the ball is Holiday to the track at the wall to make the catch. The wind blowing from right to left, I think, gave that ball a shove. And what looked like it was going to be a routine fly ball carried a little more. So 2 out in the 8th inning. And the batter will be Ramon Martinez. The heart of the Rockies lineup will be coming up in the bottom of the 8th. That means Todd Helton, Matt Holliday and Brad Hawpe, with Helton, Hawpe, and Smith all left-handed batters. So we shall see. 3-1 Dodgers, top of the 8th. And that's a strike. Martinez had struck out and grounded out, and with 1 out in the 7th inning, he broke the spell. A single left, and he eventually came around to score the tying run. Now the Dodgers lead 3-1. Slice down the right field line. Hawpe in pursuit, makes an attempt, but he can't come up with it, and Ramirez at second with a double. So Brad Hawpe trying to backhand the ball out of a slide, but he couldn't do it. As Martinez comes up with his second hit, a slicing fly ball to right. Great effort by Hawpe. He was over towards right center and couldn't quite get there. So hit number 1 against Ramon Ramirez. Hawpe is fortunate he didn't hurt himself. You try to backhand a ball out of a slide, you're liable to, well, ask Hideki Matsui, who broke his wrist and is out of it as far as the Yankees are concerned. The batter is Russell Martin, and Oscar Robles is on deck. Ball 1. Martin hit into a force play, single to center, and they put the hit and run play on in the 7th inning, and it was a huge play. On the hit and run, Jason Smith broke to cover second. Martin hit a slow ground ball to the hole. Smith went back to come up with it, threw to first, and Martin in a head first slide just did beat it, and that kept the inning alive, and the Dodgers scored 3. 1-1. Ball 2. Ray King, the veteran left-hander. David Cortez, a right-hander, throwing in the Rockies pen. And a little hard to see them back there, but there they are. Joe Beimel made a few throws in the Dodger bullpen. Remember, in looking at that lineup coming up, Helton left, Hawpe left, Smith left, Holliday in the middle of it, right. So we'll see if the Dodgers stay with Broxton. 2-2 to Russell Martin, 2 for 3 today. Little ground ball to Jason Smith, and that's it. So the Dodgers get the double from Martinez, but they lead him. No runs, a hit, a man left, and the bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Dodgers. Under the gathering clouds, the Dodgers lead the Rockies 3-1. We're heading for the bottom of the 8th inning, and with those left-handers coming up, they bring in Joe Beimel along with Oscar Robles. So Robles will take over at third for Willie Ibar. I will assume Robles will bat 9th, so he'll lead off in the 9th inning, and Beimel would go in Ibar's spot. Joe pitched well to pick up the save Sunday against the Giants. He'll now go head-to-head with Todd Helton. Helton is 2 for 5 in the past against Beimel. Strike. Helton today hit by a pitch, grounded to short, struck out, 0 for 2. And that's hit down the left field line, foul. 0-2. Well, all the blue skies have just about gone. It seems pretty dark in the ballpark, but they're not turning on the lights. The blue, the slivers of blue, no longer part of the canopy overhead. Little foul ball. Helton does a remarkable job of fighting off good pitches. because that's why he has such an outstanding batting average. I don't know how many times he fouled off great pitches from Brad Penny. 0-2. Ball one. Helton, Holiday, and Harp, and they have one hit amongst them. That was the double by Holiday. And a fly ball to shallow center for call out. Cruz in and Jose. So Helton goes 0 for 3, 1 away, and the batter will be Matt Holliday. In the first inning, Helton was hit by a pitch with 2 out, and Holliday doubled him to third. That brought up the left-hand hitting Brad Harp, who struck out. They also had runners at first and third in the fourth, and that's when Garciaparra made the great catch of the ball hit by Jamie Carroll. Finally, the Rockies did break through in the 6th inning when Jason Smith singled with 2 outs, stole second, and scored on Ojeda's single. Well, the Dodgers came back in the 7th for 3 and lead 3-1 now that we're in the bottom of the 8th. The Garciaparra has 2 huge contributions by the glove and by the bat. 2-0. And that's hit towards the gap in right center. Drew racing over, but it's going to hit the base of the wall, and Holiday steams into second with his second double of the day. Holiday with 2 doubles for 4 total bases. He's 1 total base back of Albert Pujols. I mean, imagine, naturally in this day and age, all you hear about is Albert Pujols, but there is a young fella by the name of Matt Holliday who is really flexing his muscles, and he now has more extra base hits than Albert Pujols. 27-25, and the batter is Brad Harp with 1 out. Holiday taking a big lead, and Beimel off the rubber. In the Dodger bullpen, Danny Baez gets up and begins to warm up. Harp 0 for 3 against Penny. Struck out twice. 0-1. Down in the dugout, Clint Barmes, number 12, with a helmet and a bat in his hands, perhaps to bat for Smith, who's a left-handed batter. 0-1. And line drive base hit. Holiday held up, so he will go to third and stop. So Beimel is in some trouble now. First and third with 1 out. And Clint Barmes will come up and bat for Jason Smith. Now Clint Barmes, coming up with the tying runs aboard, has really been fighting it. He has just 5 hits in his last 56 at-bats. And Rick Honeycutt going out to talk to Beimel about how they want to pitch Barmes. Last night, Barmes hit 3 infield ground balls and fouled out. The night before, however, against Tomko, he doubled, lined out, flied out, and popped up. So Clint, who was off to a great start, broke the collarbone and has hit the skids ever since, and now coming up in a big spot. They have selected Barmes over Chu Freeman, Danny Ardwa, Eli Marrero, and Barmes becomes the second pinch hitter. Luis Gonzalez struck out in the 7th inning. Dodgers lead 3-1, but Holiday is at third, Harp at first with 1 out. And by the way, Harp has stolen 2, but he's been caught 3 times. And a little ground ball to third. The play is going to pull Garciaparra off the bag. The run scores, and the Rockies have runners at first and second. Robles charging, and his hurry throw was wide. We'll wait and see how they rule it, but we know that Holiday is in, and it is 3-2 in favor of the Dodgers. The off balance and hurry throw way off the mark. Garciaparra did a good job of even gloving the ball, and so Grady Little has his hands forced on that little ground ball. He'll have to go to the pen. Beimel comes out. Baez will be jogging in, and we'll be back. Clint Beimel stands at first. They first called that slow roller a base hit, but they have now changed it to an error. So 2 hits and an error, 1 run charge to Beimel, and Danny Baez with 1 out facing Miguel Ojeda and Jamie Carroll. Baez has never faced Miguel Ojeda. The catcher has struck out and singled twice. So 2 on, 1 out. 3-2 Dodgers, bottom of the 8th inning, with Hoff at second, Barmes at first. And it is flat out dark in the ballpark, but the lights have not been turned on. Obviously stormy weather overhead. And that's a strike. For Danny Baez in his 19th game, 2 wins, 2 losses, ERA a little under 3.5. Strikeout to walk ratio 3-1. Hoff at second, Barmes at first. Hoff is the potential tying run with 1 out. Time. Ojeda, whatever he did when he had his base hit in the 7th inning to drive in a run, hurt himself, but not seriously, and they've allowed him to stay in the game. He has grounded into 4 double plays. So a veteran catcher from the Mexican League for years, came up with San Diego. Now here he is on a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And a ground ball to the short at short. They get 1. There's the 5th double play. So Hurdle went with him, and Baez comes in, gets the double play. The Rockies get 1, but they're a buck short. And at the end of 8, 3-2 Dodgers. By Infinity, using the power of design to create dynamic, beautiful vehicles. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. Ford, bold move. On what was a beautiful day here in Denver that has turned certainly into a threatening day. It is dark in the ballpark. The lights are not on. We're watching the plate umpire Ted Barrett go over to the Rockies dugout. I would assume the subject under discussion is turn the lights on, but they haven't gone yet. So the big play involving Miguel Ojeda, as Hurdle sent up a catcher who had said he hurt himself earlier, who had grounded into 4 double plays, and then sure enough he hit into his 5th double play to end the 8th inning. So now Brian Fuentes coming out of the pen. Jamie Carroll, who had been at shortstop, will take over at second base with Clint Barmes at short, and we are waiting for the lights to come on. And they are just starting to heat up. 3-2 Dodgers in the 9th. Now the Dodgers have not done well in 1-run games. They've lost 5 out of 6 on the road. and their record is 5-10 in one-run games. So Brian Fuentes, the man from Merced. Foul ball, 0-1 to count. One and one the count to Oscar Robles, batting ninth. The Rockies in one-run games, interestingly enough, are the exact opposite of the Dodgers. Where the Dodgers are 5-10, the Rockies are 10-5. Ball two. So Brian Fuentes, the ace of the bullpen, in his 17th game, an ERA of a little more than 1.5. He is 1-0 and saved 9. Foul back. Meanwhile, Jeff Kent can only serve by sitting and watching. No way he can play in any way, shape, or form today. Can't pinch hit. Zip. Soar back. Foul back. Interesting to see Brian Fuentes for the second time in the 3 games, when you realize he was in game 1 where the Dodgers won, and he's in game 3 where the Dodgers are leading, and in the game where the Rockies won, he did not make an appearance. 2-2. Ball 3. For Fuentes, his strikeout to walk ratio is better than 2-1. On the corner. So Robles started his swing, held up, and pays the price. 1 out in the 9th, 3-2 Dodgers. If you're not keeping score and you wonder about the Rockies in the bottom of the 9th, they have Jamie Carroll, then they have Fuentes, and the leadoff man Corey Sullivan. On the bench, Hurdle has Eli Marrero, Chu Freeman, and the catcher Danny Ardwan. Ground ball to Carroll. 2 down, top of the 9th. And the batter will be Jose Cruz, who will turn around now and bat right-handed. Cruz has had considerable success this year from this side of the plate, hitting .361. It's the left side that has really drained his average. 0 for 2 left, but he did walk twice. Oh, and he just did get out of the way of it, and Cruz unhappy about it. Ball 1. I think one of the wildest pitches we've seen in years took place last night. Young Kim, who throws submarine style and is right-handed, threw the ball behind Kenny Lofton. So now Cruz is saying, wait a minute, how can a left-hander throw behind a right-handed batter? That's a strike. 1-1. Of course, a lot of us saw a right-hand pitcher, Russ Springer, throw behind and eventually hit Barry Bonds. But I'll tell you, with the lights the way they are, it's got to be a little tougher over there at home plate. Laughter from Cesar Izturis in the dugout. Ball 2. They only serve, etc., etc. Well, Izturis is one of them. Kent's another. Signs already served. He had a pinch hit single. Well, Jeff Kent, Olmedo signs, Cesar is Torres, watching Jose Cruz and waiting for the bottom of the ninth, with today's hero certainly Nomar Garciaparra on deck. Ball 3. Cruz against Fuentes prior to today 1 for 7, and he struck out 3 of the 7 times. Fouled away. Dodgers 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error, and the Rockies 2 runs, 8 hits, no errors. And we're in the top of the 9th. Ground foul back into the seat, so it's still 3-2. It's been Jennings, Martin, Ramirez, and Fuentes, Penny, Broxton, Beimel, and Baez, and the starters are still involved. Jennings and Penny. Off speed, and it must have looked like a basketball to Cruz. A 70-mile-an-hour changeup, and down he goes. And we head for the bottom of the 9th. 3-2 Dodgers. Dodgers lead the Rockies 3-2, bottom of the 9th inning. And Danny Baez is trying to protect a 1-run lead that occurred when Nomar Garciaparra grounded a clutch single to left in the 7th inning to score 2, scoring Martin and Baez to give the Dodgers a 3-1 lead. That is now 3-2. Garciaparra also made a huge play defensively in the 4th inning against the fellow who was leading off against Danny Baez, and that would be Jamie Carroll. Carroll hit a bullet with 2 on, and Garciaparra getting off the bag and somehow got his glove back and speared that line drive in the 4th inning, and that saved at least 1 run. Though Nomar has had a big hand in this one. 1 ball, no strikes. Ball 2. On deck, Chu Freeman. So it's Carroll, Freeman, and Sullivan. Chu will be the 3rd pinch hitter for the Rockies. 2-1 to count it, Jamie. Carroll playing second base, but finished up. Actually started at short, and he is 0 for 3. Fouled away. The Rockies have used Barmes to bat for Smith, Gonzalez to bat for Martin. They'll use Freeman to bat for Fuentes. Bottom of the 9th, 3-2 Dodgers. Ball 3. Danny Baez, better than 3-1 strikeouts to walks. Got that big double play off the bat of Miguel Ojeda to bail out the Dodgers in the 8th. Little ground ball to the right side. 1 out. So now the batter is Chu Freeman. Freeman, given name is Raphael, but everybody calls him Chu since he was a little kid making train sounds. Been with the Rockies up and down since 2004. Way out in front of that, 0-1. Freeman, 3 RBIs, no home runs, hitting .256. 6'2", 200-pounder, and an outfielder. And pops it up into that woolly sky for call. Well, that's a mess with Furcal and Martinez. And Martinez, the taller of the 2, makes the catch. So the Rockies are now down to their last out. And the batter is Corey Sullivan. Sullivan topped the ball out in front of the plate and was thrown out. Double to right, fly to center, and struck out. 1 for 4. Ball 1. Sullivan had 4 home runs for the Rockies all last year, and he has 1 home run, 7 RBIs right now. Fouled away. So Danny Baez trying to come up with his 9th save. Help the Dodgers win 2 out of 3 and go home having won 4 out of 6 on the road trip. Two and one on deck. Garrett Atkins. Atkins, the on deck hitter. 1 for 4 today. Fouled away. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Bottom of the 9th, 3-2 Dodgers. So the scores here at Coors Field, because of the humidor, the thick grass, have been 5-4, 5-1, and 3-2. And ball 3. So Sullivan trying to get aboard. 3-2. And that's going to be hit into right center. Drew over to cut it off, and Sullivan will hold with a single. So with 2 out, the tying run is aboard, and the batter Garrett Atkins. Now Sullivan over at first, checking. He is 3 for 3 in stolen bases. Russell Martin going out to talk to Baez. Sullivan had 1 hit last night, none the night before. And of course on deck is Todd Helton. Helton is 1 for 1, and it's a home run against Baez. So the Dodgers would just as soon have Danny take care of Atkins and get out of here. So the man from UCLA, Garrett Atkins, and look out, and it ticked him. It was behind him, and I guess it hit something, and here comes Helton. Up there, and it just ticked the back of his helmet. And now Grady Little is going out to talk to Danny Baez. There have been 3 Rockies hit by pitches today. Helton in the 1st inning, Holiday in the 4th, and now Atkins in the 9th. 2 on, 2 out. Helton is 0 for 3. Grounded to short, struck out, fly to center. And as we said, 1 for 1, a home run in the past against Baez. The Grady out there just to try and talk Baez into a calmer position. And in a moment, they will lock horns with the ball game in the balance. Don't forget, the Rockies will be coming to Dodger Stadium starting Monday night. The Angels will be there for the weekend. Here we go. A strike. In the gathering gloom and in the lights before a crowd of 30,000, the ball game is on the line. One ball and 1 strike. On deck behind Helton is Matt Holliday. And ball 2. 2 out, 9th inning, 3-2 Dodgers trying to hang on. Rockies 2 on, 2 out. Helton up there, 2-1 the count. And popped in the air, foul behind the plate. Russell Martin coming to the screen, no play on the other side. So near and yet so far. So in a wildly exciting ball game, the deuces are wild in the 9th. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, 3-2 Dodgers. It's tough to breathe out there when you're the closer in this spot. 2-2. He doesn't want to go 3-2. And that one is lifted to right field. Drew coming in. He's there. And the Dodgers win it as Helton flies to right and goes 0 for 4. Nomar Garciaparra saved the Dodgers with his glove and won it for them with his bat. And for Danny Baez, let's take a look at the pitch by pitch. Fastball for a strike to Helton. Back just low. Next one in the dirt, 2-1. Next one high and foul back, letter high, 2-2. And that one a fly ball that saw Helton drop to his knee, and we saw J.D. Drew put it away. So it was a struggle, but Danny Baez does it. He picks up his 9th save, and we'll be back.